Hey everybody, Lexi Caldwell, Associate Broker, Century 21 affiliated, and I am here with my favorite best girlfriend, Jessica Barefield. She is up in the Brighton, Pinckney area, and she is a newborn photographer, and she's going to tell us all about what she does. So take it away.
So what do I do?
What do you do? Tell us what you do.
I photograph, newborns. I photograph newborns. I know it's so funny. I met a photographer last week and they do weddings and they're like, "Oh, you do the easy photography." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't do the easy photography." So what's funny is that when I started this, that's kind of what I thought too. Like you see all these cute little tushies in the air and you see all these poses that these photographers do, and you're like, oh, just bring a baby over here, I'll do that.
Yeah, no.
It's not quite like that.
No, and I've done newborns, and because I met you when I was still doing photography, and we were just chatting about that. I think we've known each other 6 or 7 years.
Yeah, which is
and I bought a high chair from you, and we just kind of hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. But I have shot a few newborns, and I will say that it's probably the hardest type of photography. You're dealing with somebody's baby, right?
Yeah.
First of all, so the scariness of it, like you don't want to hurt, the baby, and some of those poses are not exactly safe. So your specialty is doing it safely, right?
Correct. Yeah, because you see this stuff. Like I saw a photographer last week that's newer, and she was doing this pose that everyone loves.
Yeah.
And she actually just had the baby free sitting like this, and I was like, ah. Because what people don't know is that this is not real. Like when their hands are like this, I'm holding here. And then when you see this bottom half, I'm holding up here. And then you have to like Photoshop them together because their necks are really fragile and their heads are really floppy. And, you don't, if you haven't trained for that, or you haven't worked with somebody behind the scenes, you see this and you think, oh, I can do that. And to put a baby like this is actually quite dangerous. So, but I see new photographers do it quite frequently. So, it works. It's better to hire somebody that knows what they're doing. Not that everyone doesn't need to start somewhere. I did. But maybe let those people train with a photographer like me.
Yeah.
It's been a while before you give them your fresh brand new baby.
Right. Yep. So I can see like a little bit of your studio back there. And so if they don't know this, typically they come with their baby to your studio, right? You've got different equipment and cushions and things.
All the things. So that's a really popular question that I get quite frequently when people message me. They will ask, what do I need to bring? Do I, need hats and blankets and the outfits? And I have heard of new photographers that do this. You have to style your own session and bring your own things along. I guess that's, a more cost effective way for the photographer to do it. It makes things easier on the photographer's end. But that's kind of, I like to offer a full service portrait, high-end experience. So I just want you to show up with your baby. You fill out a questionnaire so I understand you and your style and things you like and colors you like or colors you don't like and things of that nature. But then I have all of the stuff here, all of the cute little headbands and wraps and outfits and blankets and props and buckets and all of the things. And based on the questionnaire my clients fill out, which takes them just a few minutes, they show up and I have everything set out and styled. And, if they see anything here that I maybe didn't pull on my own, I'll pull it for them and we use it. But I do all of the legwork.
Yeah. And you have like the
cutest. It's hard to, because this is a profession. So, people work because they're trying to pay their bills. I do love what I do, but let's be honest, if we were all millionaires just off the bat, I don't think we would all work the way we work. Maybe, I would still work some, but not the way I do.
Yeah. Well, you get what you pay for, right? So if you're at the other side of the aisle and you're looking for something cheap, like I wish I would have known you when I had my boys, because I would have figured out a way.
Yeah. And I get so many people that like friends that I've met in recent years that are like, oh my gosh, if I only had known you back in the day. Back in the day, I probably wasn't very good though.
Oh,
back when we were all having babies together, I was just starting this thing out. So
no, I mean,
definitely come a long way since then. But yeah, I have
Yeah.
all of the cute little outfits and I'm constantly shopping, and it's really hard not to, you know, purchase some of these cute things from these newborn photographer vendors, but it's definitely not for the faint of heart. If you were a parent going out trying to buy some of this stuff I have, like one little outfit can be anywhere from $60 to $100 for one outfit. We use, 10, 15 outfits during a session sometimes. So
Right.
that could become very expensive for people that aren't planning on reusing those props and things just for a one-time purchase.
Right. Right. So
Yeah.
tell us, because you had a little bit of a celebrity run-in not too long ago. So why don't you just talk about that, the celebrity baby that you photographed?
Oh God. Well, you mean like 2 years ago? Well, it's probably been a little bit
That
longer
long?
than that
Was it
now.
that long ago?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah. Yeah, he just turned 4
Okay. All right.
or 3 or 4. Okay,
Spill the
I'm trying to
beans,
think.
because my people probably have
2016,
never heard.
2017, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, because she just sent me a picture of him. And I was like, oh my gosh,
But we
no.
haven't said who it was. I was gonna let you say it.
Everyone's like, who are they talking about? Yeah, so the Harbaugh baby. He's a
Who's
preschool now.
Harbaugh though? Who is
Jim
that?
Harbaugh, the
Okay.
football coach for the University of Michigan.
Yep.
It was kind of funny because I was like sitting in my studio one day and I actually was eating cereal in my studio, and my phone was ringing, and I have a landline for the business, and I, it's usually just junk. Landline calls are junk, and I was like, ugh. And I looked and I'm like mouthful of cereal just as I bite, and it says Harbaugh. And I'm like,
What?
no. And I'm like chewing like a crazy person. I'm like trying to swallow. Yeah, and it was her. And she ended up booking me. Sarah, that's his wife. She's an amazing, lovely person. They have a great family. And so I was able to photograph their baby. There's a cute little photo that kind of went viral. A bunch of the University of Michigan pages and fan sites were sharing him. It was a little picture of him on a Lloyd car in Bo Schembechler football that my husband had signed years ago. And he was kind of laying on it with a cute little helmet U of M hat. So cute.
I always put a graphic at the end of the video with your contact information. Maybe you could send me like a collage of some of your
Yeah.
favorites, but
Yeah,
get an
absolutely.
idea. And then I'll try to like tag your page too so people can find you. So are you doing any other type of photography? Are you open to like a family set? Like what if somebody sees your work and is like, oh my gosh, I have to use her. Like, would you shoot like a family?
A family. So I do. I do. I don't do weddings. Have never. So I can't, when people say, they try to compare what's hard, what's not. I've done everything but weddings. I don't do weddings because I feel like they would be way outside of my realm of what I would want to do. But because of my newborn sessions, one of the things that I offer is a grow with me plan. And so my newborn clients that are interested in capturing all of those milestones the first year will book those. And it's a newborn 6-month, 1-year session. You get one session at each of those phases to capture all those big milestones, the sitting, the standing, the cake smash, all of those things. So I do a lot of that. I get a lot of babies in here after my newborns as they're growing. And then those families want to grow with me. So they'll come back and do like an 18-month session or a 2-year session or a mini family session. I don't get too many family requests for people that have never worked with me before, because that's just how I market myself. I do get a couple a year. And of course, I will quote them out what that would cost and what that would look like. So yeah, I do that. But more so with people that have booked me for those baby years first, and then they want to keep coming back.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I will make sure that people know how to find you. Is there anything that you would tell somebody that's maybe never seen your work or never heard you? Like, what's your like quick like elevator speech? Like, what would you tell somebody that you've never met
about booking me?
Yeah, or why they should, or anything you want, whatever you would say to someone that has never heard of you.
So one of the things, so this is one of my not something that I'm great at. I'm not great with the sales aspect. It's just not my personality. I'm more of like the creative side of stuff, and that's why I'm a photographer. I love what I do. Um, so, I always say one of the things that I find when people call and they ask me for pricing and stuff, it is an investment. It's to hire somebody like me that does the quality of work that I offer, has the expertise that I offer. And I'm a legitimate, professional. I'm not just somebody that's doing this on the side. And there's a lot of photographers that are, somebody that just gets a camera and they're just looking to make a little extra money, or, it's a hobby. That is completely different than what I do. And so I get people that will contact me and they initially shy away because of pricing. And, so many different photographers out there. It's definitely a saturated market. So it's easy for them to go, oh my gosh, that's no way. That's a lot of money. And like I said, you see these photos and you think, oh, that looks easy to do. So you think anyone can do it, which they can't. And so I have actually had people call me back in the end, crying. I've had people call me crying. It's the worst feeling, that didn't book me, or, went the cheap route out, because, they thought, oh, I can find somebody else to do this cheaper, which you can, but then they hate their photos. And that's not always the case, but it is sometimes. And I always wish I knew, what could I have said differently that make them realize that the investment is worth it. Because sometimes there's not do-overs by the time, you have another photography session, and newborn sessions are, 8 to 14 days ideally, because I've been doing, it's gone. And because I've been doing this so long, I can push that out a little bit by, several days to a week. But, sometimes by the time you work with another photographer and they edit things and you get things back, you now have a 2-month-old baby, and that's not a newborn, not as far as newborn photography is concerned.
Right.
So, I'm still working on the sales pitch that catches everyone.
Well, I love how we've talked about this extensively, especially when I was still doing photography, because honestly, you were very kind to me, very helpful. I think I called you more than anybody. What do I do about this? Look at this pricing. Will you look at this, that, and all the things?
Yeah.
But you always have said, and I'll say this, but then I want you to say it. Like the jeans, you would talk about the story about I can buy jeans at Nordstrom, or I can buy tell them that concept.
Yeah.
Because I love that.
Okay. So it's two different analogies now that I work off of, but it's just the difference of, obviously you can buy jeans anywhere you go. You can walk into Walmart and you can buy a pair of jeans, or you can, go into Nordstrom and buy a pair of jeans. And I think we can all agree that, the quality that you're going to get from Walmart, and, that's fine. It's all in comparison to, what you value. You don't value jeans, then you're probably going to be fine with the Walmart jeans that you wear a handful of times, and now they're already kind of fading or falling apart, or they've lost, how they fit your body. And now you got to buy another pair of jeans, versus, I do have, cheap jeans, and I have expensive jeans, and I have expensive jeans that I purchased, 10 years ago, and they're still great and they can be worn. That's kind of the difference. Or the difference between buying a Ford Focus or a Porsche. We all know there's a difference there. They're both vehicles. They're going to get you from point A to point B, but one has, more bells and whistles and a higher quality, and one just kind of does the job.
Right. Yeah, no, I love it. I think that might resonate with people. There was something else I was going to ask you, but I probably lost it. So you're in Pinckney, but I mean, you work with people. I mean, you've had somebody fly in from
Alaska and Bali.
Wow. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
It always blows my mind a little bit. It's funny though, because, and again, I really believe anything that is a luxury product, it really just comes down to whether you value it or not. Is it important to you or not?
Right.
And so I will have people that live 40 minutes from here and go, oh, you're too far, I'll find somebody else. But then I have somebody that's your work is beautiful and it's amazing, and I saw it in the bump, and I'm in Alaska and I don't care, I'm coming to you. So I literally had somebody from Alaska come with a 3-week-old baby.
Well, and the thing is, these pictures last forever.
Yeah.
My kids grow up. My boys are all grown up now almost, and it's like their little baby pictures. Like
Yeah.
I did some decent pictures of my kids. I mean, I didn't, not newborn though. My
Yeah.
favorites are probably like when they were sitting. So what, like 3 months maybe. But I mean, we can see the pictures behind you, and I mean, it just kind of speaks for itself. Oh, you have a whole magazine. Look at that, you guys.
You have a whole,
Yeah.
hang on a second. There's a sticker on the back of it. Let me see if I can get it off. It has but we were talking about there he is.
Oh, yes, there it is. Yes.
He's on the magazine.
Yeah, that went around. I think I saw that on M Live.
It was on M Live. It
Yeah.
did go around. It kind of it definitely made its rounds. It was crazy that actually popped up in my memories, my Facebook memories a couple weeks ago, because the session was in February. No, it was in February.
So like 4 years ago then?
Yeah.
I can't
And
believe it's been that long.
it was funny because it had like something crazy, like I don't even know. It probably the most viral photo that I've done.
Yeah.
Like it had thousands of multi-thousands of likes and share. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, and one other thing I've mentioned, because I've seen, are you still using M Street Bakery for your cakes?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah, they do all of my cakes.
They kind of got real popular, like even down here, even down in Jackson. We had multiple friends on Facebook that I was like, oh, they checked in at M Street Bakery. I'm like, I know that place. We actually went there too, but that's what she uses for her cakes, you guys. So,
yeah, they're amazing. Aren't they amazing?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah, I was making my own cakes, very subpar.
Oh, whatever.
Many years ago. And they were two sisters, kind of, I think, baking from home, and they posted in one of the mom sites, like, hey, we're going to do this business, and put your name and share this, and, then private message us your address, and we'll randomly select a few people to get like some free cupcakes. And I was like, I never win anything like this, but I'll do it. What the heck? And like several hours later, there was a knock at my door, and it was them with cupcakes.
What?
And they were, and I don't like, so this is funny, I don't like cake. Like, I don't think cake, it's just not my jam. And it literally was the best. It's their frosting. Not that their cake's not good, it's good, but it's just was so good. I was like, oh my God, never in my life. Like, dangerous. I could literally buy their cake and just lick all the frosting.
Yeah.
And so I messaged them right away, and I was like, hey, do you do cake smash cakes? And, quote me, and I'm a photographer, and I have lots of cake smash sessions. And they've been doing my cakes ever since. They're amazing. The stuff they come up with, just beyond.
That's awesome. Well, what a good relationship. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, they're great. Everyone go to M Street.
Yeah. Well,
awesome
everyone come to you first for their newborn sessions, and maybe even a couple of family sessions. I would encourage people to reach out, and then you can decide what kind of experience you want. Actually, I just had a friend on, she's pregnant, so I'll have to be like, hey, you should go to her.
Check this girl out.
So
give me some really, really amazing photos.
Yeah. Well, thank you for checking in with us. I'm super appreciative of your friendship. I know, like, we talk way more than we see each other. I think we're on the phone like at least a few times a week.
Totally. I love it. You're like one of the first people that pops into my head. Like, I drop my kids to school and I think, Lexi, my mom, who am I going to call?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to be that person. But thank you so much, Jessica Barefield with A Moment to Remember Photography. She's in the Pinckney area, newborn photography. So, well, thank you for hanging out.
You're welcome. Thank you for spotlighting me.
Yes, I know. Anytime. Super fun. So, well, thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day.
You're welcome. You too. Bye.